Why are there people out there still doubting Brock Purdy? We're going to talk about all that. We're going to get into a bunch of different things today. We're going to talk about some practice updates, roster moves, everything that is going down in 49ers land. We are going to get into it and discuss all of it right now. But you guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and let's talk some 49ers football. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, gang? How are we doing today on this wonderful Thursday? Feels good to be a Niner fan right about now. I know you guys are vibing with me and loving everything about that. It is phenomenal. Programming notes. Brock Purdy is scheduled to speak here pretty shortly. I know Chris Forster is talking right now, but when Brock Purdy comes on, we'll do a simulcast. So I will bring up Brock's interview and we can listen to it all together right here, because shout out to you guys for tapping in. Appreciate it, especially when the 49ers are streaming right now. So Chris Forster's wrapping up talking, and then I will bring up Brock Purdy, and then we can react to what he has to say together and all those different types of things. But man, what before we get into our main topic today, what is it with these Eagles fans? Like, I really did not expect to hear much of anything from any Eagles fans, any players, anything like that. I felt like after a win like the 49ers had, it would be on to the next, right? They've got to focus on, they have a huge divisional opponent matchup coming against the Cowboys. Like, that's a playoff game for the Eagles, yet they're still talking about us. They're still talking about us. And I thought we were the boohoo Niners, remember? Wasn't that what we heard all this time for the last 8-9 months leading up to this game? And it's like, you see, you see what happens. And they didn't lose their quarterback or two quarterbacks. So it's been quite the week. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of fun this week. It's been an absolute grind, but it has been a good one. I don't know if you guys saw this tweet from one of the credentialed media members that covers the Philadelphia Eagles. It was pretty hilarious, to the point where I am going to share it with you so we can all have a good little laugh together. I posted this to Instagram. I posted it to Twitter. It's too good just not to share and discuss. So again, I'm sure you've seen this guy's tweets before, just for being astonishingly, shockingly bad. But imagine you are about 4 days removed of the San Francisco 49ers going into Philadelphia and dropping 42 points on their head. They were only able to put up 19 points. And you have the audacity to go on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and say every single GM in the NFL would take the Eagles roster over the 49ers and Cowboys roster. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to come back to this, though, because Brock just came up. He came up real quick. Wasn't expecting him to be up this fast. So I'm going to get Brock up here, and we'll listen to Brock, and then we'll circle back. Let me get Brock queued up. Let me know if you guys can hear all of it. I got it paused, so you're not missing anything. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Want to make sure we are all right. I'm smashing the play button right. Meow. So we're gonna watch react to Brock. You guys can't hear it? Uh, hold on. Hold on. My apologies. I'll play it back. I can play it back. Don't worry. I can play it back. Let me try it this way. All right, let's try this route. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Thank you for letting me know right away. Let's do it one more time. Hopefully we get some. Can you hear it? Still no sound? Dang. All right. I'm gonna do it old school fashion. I'm gonna do it old school fashion. All right.
Yeah, I probably could have been a little better on the throw, but he saved me on it.
All those Niner fans there chanting your name. That had to be kind of a cool moment for you.
Yeah, I
Can
mean,
you hear it?
just the
Can you
support that
hear
you
me?
get, from the faithful, and when
I
we go
don't
on the
see
road
that I'm
games,
muted.
even
Can
if
you
it's
hear
East
me?
Coast, they show up.
Jeez, what a S show. But anyways, let's hear from the 49ers quarterback. Let's go.
Nothing's changed. Yeah, I'm about my process in my week this week against the Seahawks, and that's it. So
How cool does it feel to run off the field in Philly last week, having all those Niner fans there chanting your name? That had to be kind of a cool moment for you.
yeah, I mean, just the support that you get, from the faithful, and when we go on the road games, even if it's East Coast, they show up, and they're there, man, all the way through. And so to be able to pull out a great win like that, and then run off the field and have them still be there supporting all of our guys running out was special for all of us.
On your first touchdown throw to BA, was that right where you wanted it, where you knew he was going to have to lay out? Is that how?
I mean, I think we weren't necessarily both on the same page. I thought the defender Blankenship was actually going to try to undercut it, and then he ended up stopping. So I just led him to make sure, and then BA sort of had to make a second effort to dive and get it. So it was a great play on him. So yeah, I probably could have been a little better on the throw, but he saved me on it.
That was Kyle was talking about Juwan Jennings yesterday and was saying that the only thing that holds him back is us, basically, and then saying that, with the rest of the supporting cast, he's just not going to get the ball all that often, but that he's always ready and he's always dependable. And what's been your observation of him since you got here?
Yeah, he's so consistent. JJ brings so much juice and swagger to the team. Like when he catches the ball, man, everyone and he converts a first down, like everyone feeds off it, and you can see it. He has fun playing the game in meetings around this place in the locker room. Like JJ is just he's got a different vibe to him, and we all love it. We feed off it. So for him to be able to get those balls like he did in the game, some crucial third down conversions, man, and then obviously the touchdown, well worth it, man. We love him.
I think it was in the previous Seattle game he had one where it didn't look like it was possible that he would make the first down. And I think he made maybe 4 guys miss by the time he got there. Do you recall that play? Did you get have a look at it, or were you out on your back or something at the time?
No, yeah, I threw the ball and we all just watched. And it's like, all right, you sort of just see him make all these guys miss and keep going. But JJ's done that, in multiple games dating back to the last 2 years. Like, you give him the ball and he makes guys miss and finds a way to get a first down somehow, some way. But that dude's got some dog in him. He's got some fight. And like I said, we all feed off it. And JJ just brings a lot of joy and drive and fire to this team, more than people know. So
his touchdown in the last game, the Eagles game there, I don't know, how aware are you of, when a blitz is coming, how well it's picked up? I mean, is it just as simple as like, oh, I was able to get the ball off, which is great? Or like when you go back and watch, you're like, wow, Christian stepped up and made this blitz pick up, and that was even better than I realized.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a protection called, and then you could start to see like there's, the coverage is tight, everyone's low. We know that I'm probably going to be hot. So I know that Christian's going to get, the A gap here. I'm going to be free with the guy off the edge, but it's putting that, the trust and faith that the guys up front are all going to do their assignment, get their guy. I know this guy on the edge is going to be free. So now I got to put my trust in JJ, in his route, and know that I probably don't have time for a hitch. I got to do like a 5 plant, throw the ball. Everyone's doing their job and convert. So that's something that we've done since training camp. We did that all throughout OTAs in camp with, drills on being hot, pass protections, all that kind of stuff. So, and then it pays off on a crucial third down in Philadelphia, week 13, so.
You think you wouldn't trust them before, but like, how much does that trust grow in terms of like, maybe week 1, you believe it's going to happen, but now you have all these examples of it happening. How does trust in kind of everybody doing exactly the right thing at the right time grow over the course of the season? Yeah, I mean, I think early on in the season, it's not that you have to knock off Russ, but it's, man, you got to play together. You got to learn how guys, move and can pick things up, especially with the guys up front. And then as the season goes, you start to feel like, all right, this is who we are. This is how my guys up front play. This is where I can step up in the pocket. And then obviously trust them to, pick up stuff that's coming late, like blitzes and whatnot. So they've all done a great job throughout the year. I feel like we've all gotten better, looking at the first game in Pittsburgh till now, we have gotten better. But, there's always still some areas where we can all be better. And it starts with myself, with pocket movements and stuff. But, yeah, definitely that trust and faith has gotten better, since game 1. So I'm really excited.
You face the Seahawks more than any other opponent now. What's your mindset when it comes to kind of a familiar foe like that?
Yeah, I mean, man, they got good players. Some really good dudes that have a lot of experience and stuff. Obviously with Bobby Wagner and then Diggs in the backfield or in the secondary. Some boys that are playing corner that have got some experience now under their belts. And so for us, it's like, man, they can make plays. They're smart. They play a bend but don't break kind of defense. And so it's always a challenge when we play them every single time. It's not like, oh, we've beaten them, so we're just going to walk in this game. It's not like that, man. It's the NFL. They're a team right now who needs to win, and so do we. And it's going to be a dogfight like it always is. So we respect the heck out of Seattle. And anytime we play them, we know it's always going to be a dogfight. So that's how we look at it.
Brock, do you think you're representing the organization well right now, standing up there at the podium wearing a backwards hat?
I don't, man, I guess that's who I am, and I think so. So, yeah, some guys have told me in the locker room and stuff, but I don't buy into all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to play quarterback and win games.
Brock, the Wednesday and Thursday is when you guys typically install. Is that a surprise to you as far as the game plan? Are you seeing it for the first time, or does Kyle
consult with you on Monday and Tuesday about some of the things that maybe you want in the game plan that week? Or
It's-
is Wednesday your first day?
No, yeah, Wednesday's usually my first day. I'll go in and talk to them on the off days and just sort of get an idea of like what we're thinking. But then the first time I see the plays is on Wednesday, and it's because they're doing all their studying and prep. They want everything to be perfect for when we see it for the first time. So, do I like it? Yeah. I mean, I trust in them. I'd like them to prepare like as coaches and give us the best game plan as possible. So, but it's worked, since I've been here. So.
I'm not throw the Christian on the sideline on the little wheel route. Christian told me that there was an adjustment made
That
on
was
that play
Grant who
between
asked
you
that.
two before. Can you kind of specify what you did and how much did the trust aspect work into that? Because that ball seemed to come out before he was even close to making his move against the linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the game, he ran a route that wasn't exactly that route, but a route that was similar. And he said, once we get to that third down route that you're talking about, he said, I'm going to set him up, like I did on this last route and sort of go outside a little bit and then take it up. And so we had talked about it on the sideline. He's the one that came up and told me, what he expects, and I trusted him. And so once that third down came around, he made his move, and then sure enough, went up the field, got the backer to bite, and it was a huge third down conversion. So that was props to him.
Brock, you always talk about the process and focusing on just the challenge of getting better. Are you able to appreciate just how well you have played and are playing?
In a sense, but man, like I said before, like there's so many areas I feel like I can get better, really. Just within the operation of our offense, some reads, being consistent, like I look at that last game and I look at the first, 2 drives, and it's like, man, we're a couple plays away from, really having our foot on the gas pedal from the jump. And so that's where I'm hard on myself. And so I sort of look at those things and I always want to get better in that area. But at the same time, man, playing in the NFL, winning some games, you do have to, I think, take a step back and be able to look at it and be thankful for what's going on. But obviously we have a bigger goal at mind, and that's where I have to, stay even keeled and keep chipping forward. So.
Coming off the sideline, how quickly are you aware of what you should have done or could have done before you get there? Like after the play is gone, you're going to the bench to talk to coaches. How quickly do you know where you could have done better?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the heat of the moment, obviously, if something doesn't go our way or my way, in terms of, my read, my throw, whatever it is, and I'm jogging off the field, it's like I feel like I sort of have an idea of like where I was wrong. But I always love hearing, feedback and stuff from Greasy, Sam and Brandon, and then obviously Shanahan. Every once in a while, he'll chime in. But I feel like it's sort of a thing where as I'm jogging off, it's like, dude, you should have done this, you should have done that. But at the same time, you play 4 quarters for a reason, so I can't let it get to me. I have to, learn from it quick and then make adjustments and then go try to be successful the next time I'm on the field. So
I appreciate your not pouring over your stats, but your stats, like those franchises had Joe Montana and Steve Young and other guys, John Brody. I can tell you who that is later. Anyway, I mean, you're on pace. Your numbers would set franchise records, and some of them would be like in the top 20 in NFL history, like passer rating, completion percentage, yards per attempt. Again, I know you're not like sweet, at this point, but considering where you were not that long ago to that type of stuff, do you ever like have a moment where you're like, dang, this is pretty wild?
I mean, I guess in a sense, for me, man, I've always known that this whole thing, just life in itself, is just a process. You can't just wake up one day and graduate high school and then be like, all right, I'm going to go play in the NFL in a couple of years. It's like, no, I have to go, earn the respect of the guys in my college program. I got to start. I got to win games. I got to get experience. Once I get to the NFL, there's a process of doing it all over again. And so I've just taken it one step at a time. And then once I get my opportunity, all I'm focused on is trying to play quarterback and win games for the Niners. And then all the other stuff, sort of just happens as you go. So I don't wake up in the morning thinking I'm going to do this or that. It's how can I be the best today? How can I handle my business for the guys in the locker room and this organization? And everything else sort of falls into place. So, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Shout out Brock Purdy, man. Again. How can you doubt this man? How can you? Bro is at the podium looking like a 10-year veteran. Wait a second. He's wearing the backwards hat. It's deal breaker. Deal breaker. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That was the way the question was posed definitely felt like a setup, but I think it's hilarious that he finally got asked the question while wearing the backwards hat. Because we've talked about it on this channel. I've reacted to the video of Colin Cowherd saying Brock Purdy isn't a franchise quarterback because he wears his hat backwards, but Jalen Hurts is a franchise quarterback because he wears his hat frontward. Brock was like, I got no time. I got no time for this question, man. He sidestepped that question so fast. So fast. Oh my goodness. That was funny. I enjoyed that. Evoke says, you wear your hat wrong. I know, I got to flip it around like Brock. DJ says, turn your hat backwards, bro. Smash that like button. Bro, I don't know if you guys remember, back like the OG days, I would only wear my hat backwards. It wasn't until like I partnered with Residency that I actually started wearing my hat forward. Like I have always been a backwards hat guy. Always. It was so rare to have me, like, even in my logo, like, look at my logo behind me right here. In my logo, I'm wearing a backwards hat. Apparently, I can't be a franchise quarterback per my logo. I don't know. That question kind of threw me off. Oh, it was funny. I like it. You know what? I like that he asked it. I do. It was kind of a like, I don't know if Brock could say, it felt like a sarcastic question, like from Grant. It felt like it was a sarcastic one. But I don't know if Brock caught it or not, but he's like, I'm not touching that. He's like, I'm not going to validate any of that with a response. Oh, that was funny though. I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, like, I think the way it was said, if it was brought up more like, "Hey, did you hear this? What are your thoughts on this?" I think Brock would have gave a better response. But because it felt like it was kind of like a gotcha moment, I don't think Brock wanted to touch it. Because Brock clearly had heard it before. So I don't know. I thought that was funny though. Good job by Brock, man. Handled it like a 10-year vet. Guess how Brock Purdy handled that question? He handled it like a franchise quarterback. Boom. Great job, Brock. See, like, in a question in which he's asked if he's considered basically a franchise quarterback for wearing a backwards hat, he handled the question like a franchise quarterback. Checkmate. Man, we got a Grant and David Lombardi references going today. Man, what else happened in that? What else happened in that press conference? I'm not gonna lie, I got a little thrown off by the hat question. Oh, good times. There's never a dull moment, man, with this team. Whether it's fans, whether it's media, whether it's pundits, whether it's whatever, man. How good do we have it as 49er fans? Like, we have so much stuff to talk about always. Always. Never a dull moment around here. Even when we desperately want it to stop, there's never a dull moment. Ever. Not once. Man. I picked a good team to root for and decide to cover myself. I'm for it. But that was good job, Brock. How do people doubt that guy? How do people doubt him, man? I don't understand it. I mean, just a perfect example. Should we play it back? Might as well. Let's play it back. I'm gonna cue it up. We'll play it back. Where did that page go? Did I just delete it? Man, that was. Let's relive it together. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna get it pulled up here so we can all enjoy it again. Brock, if you're just joining us, Brock Purdy, I think it was Grant, asked Brock about the backwards hat scenario. If you don't know what that is referencing, Colin Cowherd did a bit where he says, basically, Brock Purdy can't be a franchise quarterback because he looks like a barista wearing his hat backwards. So I'm going to pull this up. We're going to get it queued, and then we'll do a little kind of it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. All right, where are we? There it is. You can see what we're talking about, and we kind of not get caught off guard by. I gotta wait for the ads to play. All right. Let me see here. Queued. Let me share my screen again.
Team right now who needs to win, and so do we. And it's going to be a dogfight like it always is. So we respect the heck out of Seattle.
Podium wearing a backward.
We play them. We know it's going to be.
All right.
It's always going to be a dogfight. So that's how we look at it.
All right. All right, you ready? So this is what we're reacting to. Grant asked Brock this question. I'm going to turn it up. Take a listen.
Brock, do you think you're representing the organization well right now, standing up there at the podium wearing a backwards hat?
I don't, man. I guess that's who I am, and I think so. So, yeah, some guys have told me in the locker room and stuff, but I don't buy into all that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to play quarterback and win games.
Brock, the Wednesday and Thursday is when you guys
Handled it like a pro, man. Guess how he handled that. Guess how Brock Purdy handled that. And again, you know, it wasn't, it wasn't prefaced in a way where uh that it was like, "Hey, did you hear about this statement and what is your reaction to said statement?" It was basically, do you do you feel like you're representing the San Francisco 49ers well by wearing a backwards hat? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's some legendary fishing right there. Like that's some legendary fishing for a soundbite. And Brock straight up said, basically, Brock did the equivalent. Like you remember that play against I think it was week 1 against the Steelers. And then you had the free rusher come off the side. You remember he was hanging there in the pocket and he just bailed out and just spun out of the pocket. And I think it was Minka Fitzpatrick who's coming off with no rush. And he just went whoop and dipped out. And then he threw the pass to Debo. That's kind of like what he just did with that question. It was like he had a free rusher barreling down on him. And he sees it out of the corner of his eye. And he went dipped out, gets out of the pocket. Oh, boom, throws a dart. Got him. Hey, he tried. He tried. Didn't work. Do you know why it didn't work? Because he's a franchise quarterback. That's hilarious. That's funny. Oh, never a dull day, never a dull moment, man. Seriously, never a dull moment. I'm thinking we're just watching Brock Purdy talking, whatever. Grant threw out the lure. He's like, come on. Come on. Brock said, nope. Sorry, pal. I ain't biting today. Bro, that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, again, I have to give some props to Grant in the sense of that is a legendary, like tried to fish a soundbite out of him. And I mean, the setup, I'm not going to lie. If you're trying to put a player in a corner and you're trying to get him to react to something, he did a good job of doing that. But Brock was smart enough to be like, I ain't touching that. You could say whatever you want about me. I do not care. I only care about the opinions of the people within inside the building. And that's exactly how it should be. And that's exactly what a franchise quarterback would say. Would they not? So again, title of the show, perfect timing. Why do people doubt Brock Purdy? Why do we doubt this kid? Because he wears a backward hat? Because he was Mr. Irrelevant? Because he doesn't look like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? What's the point? Hey, man. Literally, like, I think about it every day. I'm like, I don't know how I can like this kid more, but just somehow, some way, he figures it out. He figures out how to make me like him more. That was a top tier response by by Brock to be able to spin out of that question super hard. He knew what it was, right? Like he knew what it was. He knew what was being asked, and he said, "I'm not touching that. I'm not. I'm not giving you a quote." Oh boy, fun stuff, fun stuff. Any other takeaways from the press conference other than that? Uh, anything else that you guys heard, saw, that stood out to you? I mean, again, the biggest thing that stands out to me is that he's just a professional up there, man. He's just a professional, backwards hat and all. He's a professional. Uh, because he's doing so well, and people want something doing well to fail. This is very true. This is very true. Unfortunate part of human nature, but this is a very true statement. It is what it is. It is what it is. People, it happens. It happens from time to time. But to be honest, he's doing all right. Joseph also says people get jealous when they don't have something. Hey, that might be that simple. Coming down to that, might be that simple. Never a dull moment. Not one. Not one. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's move on, shall we? I don't think there was really too much to take away from the Thursday afternoon press conference. I thought, I mean, he's pretty. I think again when the players talk about him, they always talk about his consistency. They always talk about how he's the same person. They always talk about how he has the same temperament. That is such an important quality and trait to have as a quarterback. Like, so and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. DJ will do score predictions tomorrow for Prediction Friday. But the reason why it's such an important trait to have for a quarterback is think about this guy right here, Joe Montana. Remember the famous story about him driving down the field. They're in the huddle, and it's a huge time pressure moment. And he just walks into the huddle and, oh, there's John Candy. Like it was no big deal. And the players that were in that huddle talked about how that just calms you. It just calms the nerves. It takes the anxiety away. And, you know, I know all you guys can rationalize whether you're at work or what. When you have a manager, when you have someone who's in charge of doing their job and other people's jobs, and they're able to manage their emotions, they're able to think and process things quickly. It creates less stress for you. It creates less, and they got your best interest in mind, all that type of stuff. Um, it helps. And again, that's another element. It's why I always talk about the intangibles. It's really easy to tell, like, again, people who've been around football and people who haven't been around football, because if they tell you the intangibles don't matter, then they don't know how to evaluate football, because no position matters most to the intangible level and the intangible qualities than quarterback. And when I say intangible, I'm not talking measurable height, arm strength, uh, movement ability, pocket presence, not saying pocket presence, just the physical aspects of things. How fast does he run? How high does he jump? Intangibles are processing. Intangibles are leadership qualities. Intangibles are how cool are they under pressure. Brock might be the calmest the calmest quarterback we've seen in the league in a long time. At least for me, for the 49ers, for sure. What he does week in, week out, going into a hostile environment with the Eagles, a place that nearly ended his career, and being able to go back and dismantle the best team in the league, or so they said was the best team in the league at the time. That's special stuff, man. That's special stuff. I don't know how you can continue to doubt these things. You know what I mean? And people do, though, and that's fine. You want to be contrarian. You want to have a bold take. You want to stand out from the crowd, which is now becoming a crowd. I think there are more believers in Brock Purdy than there are doubters, I would say, at this point in the game. It definitely wasn't like that at the start of the year, for sure. But right now, I definitely would say there are significantly more people who believe in Brock Purdy, believe in him as a franchise quarterback, believe in him as the future for the 49ers right now, than don't. And do you know why that is? It's because of how he plays. It's because of how he carries himself. It's because of how his teammates respond to him. This is the guy. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got the franchise quarterback. We got him. And that's a good spot to be, man. It's a good spot to be. It's a good spot to be. So, have you guys seen the Ringer rankings? Our good friend Stephen Ruiz. Have you guys? I've seen that they're making the rounds. I remember we did our we've talked about Stephen Ruiz a couple it feels like 2 months ago at this point, when he was super slandering Brock Purdy. You guys remember that guy? Remember when I did my own top 10 ranking based on like his website. It actually has a really cool tool that you could do your own top 10. And when I moved Brock into the top 10, this is what I got. So I think, I don't know if I still even have that top 10 that I think we did. I think it was before the Dallas game when we did this. And if you move Brock into the top 10, his face pops up with a speech bubble that says, if Purdy finishes the season in the top 10, you can do the rankings next year. This is a real thing that pops up when you move Brock Purdy into the top 10 of this guy's basically the tool on his ranking page. This is also the guy who said that he won't cover the NFL anymore if Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers. So he's at the top of the list in regards to pulling receipts. He picked a really bad fan base to say something like that too. I'm not sure there's a better fan base at being petty than the 49ers. And I take a lot of responsibility for that. I do. But he will know. He's going to find out. Like, if he better pray for his football life that Brock Purdy never wins the Super Bowl, because oh my goodness, he is going to feel us for sure. So, hey, we're waiting, pal. We're waiting. If Purdy finishes the season in the top 10, you can do the rankings next year. Well, what if he's the front runner for MVP? How about that? Take that for data. Come on, meow. Come on, meow. Come on, meow. Anyways, fun stuff today. Before Brock came on, we were talking about some Eagles fans. I don't even know if it's worth rehashing, but whatever. I don't know if you guys saw this. Every single GM in the NFL would take the Eagles roster over the 49ers and Cowboys. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. This is the same guy that said the 49ers have to be the most overrated contender in the NFL that the NFL has going into the season in a very long time. And this is my response. Pulling up to the funeral just to make sure homie ain't getting back up. Drake Jackson. Love this face. I saw this in one of the Sights and Sounds videos. I think it was the Eric Armstead one. I was like, that's a meme. Snap a screenshot of that. But seriously, this guy's trying to gas up his Eagles so hard, it's unbelievable. And I think it's safe to say he took it personally. I think it's safe to say that he took that personally. But man, oh man. San Francisco 49ers are the team to beat in the NFL right now. It's not even close. It's not up for debate. And Brock Purdy is an MVP candidate. Leading at that. So, fun spot to be right now. Fun spot to be. Great spot for Brock Purdy, the San Francisco 49ers, man. I agree with this. The Ravens are going to be another really good test, right? They're going to be another really good test with the most mobilist of quarterbacks in why am I blanking on his name? Wow. I'm going to try to beat the chat. Lamar Jackson. Beat the chat. Sorry. Nope. Beat you. It was close, though. That was a buzzer beater. I had a minor stroke and forgot that the name of Lamar Jackson there for a second, but I've still beat the chat, and I'm going to take that W. That's a W still. Well, I beat the chat on my chat. It hadn't popped up yet. So on my chat that I see, hadn't popped up. So I win. How do I go blank? Have ADHD. It's very simple. Be born, have ADHD, and watch your thoughts instantly evaporate mid-thought. It's very fun. I recommend. No cheating. No cheating. I beat you guys. I'm standing on business. Standing on business. I beat the chat. I'm going to the grave. Beating the chat. I'm a franchise content creator, pal. This is very, very well said. Who cares what other people think? We don't. We just talking about it. We're talking about it. It's a level of awareness, right? We're talking about it. We don't care. We don't care. We don't, we don't care. Put your hat on backwards. I'm gonna cheat. Okay. I'm gonna cheat. This is working extremely well. If you haven't noticed, does this count? Am I a franchise quarterback? I'm like in between, like I'm half franchise, half bottom feeder quarterback, like right in the middle. You can't tell, never let them know your next move. This is the definition. This is the definition. Never let them know your next move. Dude, what a galaxy brain move for Brock Purdy to go up to the podium with a double billed hat. Someone make it right now. Someone make a double billed hat and send it to Brock Purdy. What would Colin Cowherd have to say then, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like oh goodness. What are they going to say about Brock Purdy when he wears a double billed hat? Huh? What are they going to do? They ain't going to do anything, man. They ain't going to do anything about it. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. I'm having fun today. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you guys are enjoying your time. I hope you guys are enjoying life as a 49er fan. It's a great time to be a Niner, man. It really, really is. I've been really confident about this team many, many years in a row. I don't know, man. Do you feel like there's a different level of confidence right now? Like right now? I'm not sure I've ever felt this confident in the 49ers before. And I've had a lot of confidence in the 49ers before. Am I on an island here? Because I am partially, I'm a fan. Look at me. I love the 49ers, man. I love the squad. Obviously, I try to be as objective as possible. Try to give you real analysis. Try not to be as homerish as possible. I try to give honest takes and all that stuff, and I try to tell you how I'm feeling. But man, I am so confident in this team. Like the offense has never been like this. 100%. I have never in my adult life seen the 49ers offense look like this. You know what I'm saying? In my adult life. I'm 34. I have never seen the 49ers offense look like this in my adult life. All I know are the Harbaugh years. No, I really started paying attention. I would say Erickson, Nolan, Singletary, Harbaugh, Tom Sula, Kelly, Shanahan. Those are the coaches that I know, and I know the offenses that played under those coaches. I have yet to see anything that has resembled the 49ers offense until now. And do you know who is the one of the main factors for unlocking this offense? It's Brock Purdy. It's Brock Purdy with the combination of Kyle Shanahan's scheme, Kyle Shanahan's trust. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the trust that Kyle Shanahan has in Brock that allows Brock to play the way he does? Rolando says, who loved Cap when he was with the Niners? Kaepernick was my first ever like head over heels draft crush ever. Like a big reason why I've told the story many times. One of the reasons why I'm still super invested into pre-draft scouting is because the first time I attempted to do it, I came across Kaepernick at Nevada, and I was like, this is the guy. And the 49ers drafted him, and I was like, that rush, you know what I mean? That adrenaline of identifying a prospect in college, falling in love with that prospect, being like, man, I can only imagine what he would look like on the 49ers, on my favorite team. And then your favorite team drafts him. That feeling is a good feeling. There's like this weird validation that comes along with it of you being like, man, I identified this guy as a guy that I think is really, really good. And then your team drafts him. And then for a second there, I thought Cap was the guy. I thought Cap was going to change the league. I thought Cap was man, I thought he was going to change the position forever. So I loved Cap. Cap was my guy. That's my guy. Obviously, didn't work out in the end, but that was my guy, man. That was my guy. Yeah, I remember those days. We had some glimpses, man. We had some glimpses of what that team could have been. Just unfortunate we never saw it come to full. That's the crazy thing with that Harbaugh era is that we never saw it fully in what it should have been because we had a generational defense, right? Our defense was fantastic. But we didn't have the offense to match it. We had the offense to not turn over the football and milk clock and allow the defense to hunt. That's the offense that we had. Imagine if that defense, and this is not a shot or anything at our current defense, but imagine if that like 2012 defense had this offense. Who's stopping them? In that era, though, oh my gosh. In that era where you could have Dante Whitner, you could have Deshaun Goldson, you could have Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman cleaning your clock. Boy, that would be a lot of fun. That would be a ton of fun. But that's not where we're at. Right now, where we're at is the San Francisco 49ers have arguably the best offense in the league and the best defense in the league. And they're heating up at the right time. And that's what it's all about. What it's all about is heating up at the right time. And the 49ers, with 5 games left, I can't believe we're at this point in the season, guys. I can't believe we are. Oh, gosh, Jason. Jason's trying to trigger my PTSD unintentionally. Unintentionally trigger my PTSD. No, Purdy would not have done that. I think Purdy would have found the open Quentin Patton. He would not have forced that into single coverage with Richard Sherman on Michael Crabtree, who I'm not going to slander Michael Crabtree right now, but come on. Purdy would have found the open Quentin Patton. It would have happened. You best believe it. Purdy would have made Quentin Patton a Hall of Famer. Quentin Patton was a draft crush of mine. I was so hyped when they drafted Quentin Patton, man. I was like, another one. I was like, another one. I got another one. And then they never used him because the 49ers never ran more than 2 wide receiver sets. Literally, Quentin Patton, no wide receiver could sniff the field. It was crazy. It's crazy, man. But the point being is, obviously, we're going down memory lane a little bit. It's really easy to get, sentimental about this team, where we've come from, what we've experienced. We're a fan base that has had success without the ultimate success. You remember? You know what that means? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that resonate? Like, we've been so close so many times. We've been so good so many different times, but we've never made it to the tip of the mountaintop. And I think the original point and why we got spinning on this was because this is the most confident I've ever felt in the San Francisco 49ers. That includes those Harbaugh eras. That includes 2019. That includes 2021, 2022. Just something different about knowing and having full confidence in your quarterback to go out and execute, take care of the football, and put your team in the best position imaginable just brings this confidence, right? Like, it just after that win against the Eagles, I feel so freaking confident in this team, dude. Like, even if they lose maybe a game or 2 on the way out of here, like, we know how it goes. Things happen. The ball bounces the wrong way sometimes. I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna win out. I think they beat Seattle. I think they beat Arizona. I definitely think they're going to beat the Ravens, although it will be a challenging game. I do think they're going to beat the Washington Commanders, and I do think they're going to beat the Rams. I think they are going to win out, and the 49ers will end with the 1 seed because our good friends, the Dallas Cowboys, are going to beat the Eagles next week, and the Eagles are going to go into an absolute downward spiral. And we're going to get the 1 seed. That's what I believe. Now, will that happen? It could, but I'm also a ranges of outcome person and understand the multitude of different ranges of outcomes that can come in this series of the next 5 games. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But I do feel really confident. I feel really good about where the 49ers are currently at. I feel good about the defense. I feel good about the offense. Feel good about special teams. I feel good. So again, I would say right now, The only this is something that I've said for like 3 years, I think now, and I'll continue to say it. The only team that's stopping the San Francisco 49ers are the San Francisco 49ers themselves in injuries. That is it. If the San Francisco 49ers remain healthy and they continue to execute, no one's stopping them. Not one team. Only they can stop themselves. Whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers, whether it's lack of execution, that's the only way that they're not going to win out. This team's too good, too talented at each and every position to not do that. So, just gotta keep it rolling, man. Just gotta keep it rolling. Keep the eyes forward. The Eagles are going to remember that game for a long time. I'm going to remember that game for a long time, but whatever, man. We're on to the next. Seattle this week. Seattle's going to be an interesting one because Seattle is going to be desperate. So that's the one element of this game that will be interesting to see if, how they play. And they should have Walker back, who I think is one of the best players on the entire team. But it is going to be interesting to see what Seattle team we get, how hungry they are, how well they execute. It's going to be very interesting. And then it will be interesting to see what Kyler Murray looks like with the Arizona Cardinals. So they're obviously the Cardinals are going to be a different team than we faced week 4. So I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But we'll see. We'll see. Walker's overrated. Trust me, he's on my fantasy team. Well, you're saying that because he's injured, not because of actual play on the field. I agree. And that's why, again, I've probably said this like 5 to 10 times already. I don't think the 49ers are going to underestimate anyone. I don't think that's going to occur. I just don't. The 49ers got humbled this year earlier in the season, and that will stick with them. They will remember that. That is a scar, and they aren't going to forget that. So I don't see that happening. I see the 49ers fully focused, head down, and you step in their way, you better stop them or get out of their way. It's really what it comes down to. Justin says, Brad, just the way they match up, could you see Detroit knocking Philly out of the playoffs? Honestly, with how Philly played against us, they looked average. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing about Philly that really stood out to me. Jalen Hurts really struggled from the pocket. Jalen Hurts found most of his success escaping the pocket, and he made some really good throws, but a little too late on some of them. And again, he just couldn't operate within the pocket. They couldn't run the football. The offensive line definitely did not look the same. I mean, Lane Johnson, still phenomenal right tackle. Mailata didn't look as good as he was last year. Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, they did all right. Juergens definitely struggled a little bit. Their new right guard. I don't know, man. They cut that linebacker that was starting. They just cut him. He got picked up by the Patriots, Ellis. So yeah, man. I think one of the craziest things about the league right now, and you guys can share your thoughts as well, but I think one of the craziest things about the league right now is every team has shown some kind of weakness, right? Like there isn't a juggernaut maybe outside the 49ers, right? Like right now in the league, we're talking about how well Dallas is playing. We're talking about how well the 49ers are playing. Who else? The the Chiefs don't look like themselves. If you take the logic that is applied to Brock and you take that logic and you apply it to Patrick Mahomes, then Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be elite by those standards, right? Because elite quarterbacks need to be able to have success without weapons, right? That's what we're told. That's why we're told that Brock isn't that great of a quarterback because he has so many weapons. But yet, on the flip side, you look at the best quarterback in the NFL, arguably the best cornerback of our new generation of the NFL. And when he has wide receivers who, let's face it, Kadarius Toney is talented. Sky Moore is talented. MVS is talented. He just drops the ball. You got Travis Kelce, best tight end in the league, right? Isaiah Pacheco, phenomenal running back. One of the best offensive lines in football. Struggling with Andy Reid. Struggling. But we actually watch football, so we know that Patrick is just fine. He's good. But when you don't have the support around you to help, that you need, that's just it's how life works. I don't know why everyone has a hard time understanding that, but it is what it is. Sports cliches. Football cliches dominate the narratives. The biggest thing in a potential Philly Eagles matchup is they just got to keep Goff clean. If they can keep Goff clean, Goff can pick them apart. You just can't get pressure on Goff. Once you start making it real ugly on Goff, he starts to freak out a little bit. So it's really the only issue in his game, in my opinion, is he just he gets a little rattled when defensive linemen start getting close to him, and he can make some bad decisions at times. But the Miami Dolphins. I forgot about the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are playing really well. Miami Dolphins, Dallas Cowboys, Texans have been playing pretty well, all things considered, being 7-5. Jacksonville's in a tough spot. Sleeper team, Colts. Colts with Gardner Minshew. Don't sleep on them. I love Gardner. I've loved Gardner since Washington State. I remember watching Gardner, and I remember watching him at the Senior Bowl and just loving Gardner. I was like, this guy has got that it factor. Like he might not be the biggest quarterback and might not throw the ball the furthest, but I was like, he's just got that thing that you put him at quarterback, that dude's gonna win some games. Like, I like Gardner, man. I got respect for Gardner Minshew. I do. But there's a lot of average team. Baltimore's the other team. So it's basically the big teams in the NFL: Baltimore, Detroit, 49ers, Eagles. Chiefs are fringe. Dallas. Miami. Handful of teams. So we'll see what it looks like, but pretty confident in this team. Anyways, Appreciate all you guys, as always, for tapping in. We will do Prediction Friday tomorrow, and we'll really focus on the Seattle Seahawks. Can already imagine what the predictions are going to look like, but we'll still have fun anyways. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you for always tapping in and vibing. Grab your cookies on the way out. Appreciate y'all. I'm out of here for now. Enjoy your Thursday night, and we'll be back tomorrow. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to